Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, thanks for joining us on the show this week. Each week we come into our Studio B and have organizations come in to talk about what's going on around the area. And it's always a lot of fun, and we learn a lot of things about these organizations. And we do have some really good organizations in our viewing area and a lot of good volunteers to make them work the way they should. Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We'll talk to two young ladies about what's going on at the Boone County Library.
Your house is a reflection of you. Hi, I'm Gayla with Trinity Flooring, and flooring is all we do. We're expert at choosing the right product for the right application for every room in your home. Installation is the key, and we guarantee the best installation in the Ozarks at the right price. We proudly serve the Harrison area, and we'll bring the samples to your door.
Trinity Flooring, do it right the first time.
TrinityFlooringBranson.com.
This is Josh from Harrison Battery and Tire. Lots of folks have been asking about roadside assistance, and now it's available. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we can quickly and efficiently take care of your tires and battery issues with one phone call. Professional, secure, comforting to get you back on the road. No matter what time, no matter what type of vehicle you drive, call for details at 870-741-7041. Harrison Battery and Tire on the curve of Main Street in Harrison, harrisonbatteryandtire.com. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our first two guests in the studio today from the Boone County Library, Eileen Clark and Beth Kaffenberger. Boy, I got that down.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming in. Beth, thanks for contacting me. And you're right. Actually, probably the first Monday of every month, we need to have you guys come in because you do so many things down there. And we've always worked with the library through the years. And it's good to have you come in and update everybody on all the activities going on. You've got so much going. Who wants to start? Beth, you want to kick it off?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, the big thing that's happening in April is National Library Week, and it's going to be taking place April 10th through the 15th. And there's just going to be so many activities that are going to happen during this time, both upstairs in the library and the children's department, as well as downstairs. So I want to encourage everybody to come out for sure to check out everything. We'll have a table set up right in the front when you walk in, and you can sign up for your own library card in case you don't have one, or maybe you want to receive the monthly newsletter. You can sign up for that, or become a friend of the library. You can even sign up for that as well. And at that table, we'll have drawings, and there'll be giveaways, so you just never know. You might win something if you come
win
by.
Win a big prize.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's always a fun time. I know it's a big deal for you. You know, a lot of people don't realize, and I'm going to put a plug in for the Friends of the Library, but boy, all those volunteers, and they're all volunteers. They have the book sales, and they just do so many different things, and have throughout the years for the library. I'm sure we don't mention them enough, but you know, without their support.
And actually, their big sale, spring sale, is taking place next weekend. So it will be the 13th through the 15th. And then if you are a member of the Friends, you can come in early on the 13th from 9 to 1 p.m. and you can get first choice of all of the books. If you're not a member yet, but you want to go to that preview sale, you can actually buy your membership at the door before you go in. But then the rest of the weekend will be open to the public, and then Saturday the sale it's a bargain day. So
it is a good deal. And you know, well, I'd say most of the books that I've seen, and I don't read as much as I should anymore, but they have really gently used, I mean, almost new, or some are new, obviously, but it's a great deal for a gift or just to purchase them or whatever. And one thing I saw on here, and I want to mention here, now what's this deal that says, opportunity to meet the cat in the hat? Who wants to talk about that?
Well, that applies to the children's department.
Right.
So Cat in the Hat is going to be visiting Boone County Library during the National Library Week.
Okay.
And especially during story time hours and toddle time hours, which is on Wednesday and Thursday at 10.
Okay.
So Cat in the Hat will be there reading stories to the children. During that time, we're going to have a scavenger hunt for families. We'll also have a one fish, two fish fishing pond for the little children, the preschoolers.
Not real water.
Well, not really, but, yeah. But there's gifts, there's giveaways, balloons, just the book sale. So it's a very busy week during the National Library Week.
Yeah. You have a lot of really good programs for the kids. I know, and of course we all like to see kids get involved in reading at an early age. I think it's very important that we do that. Why don't you just you've got talk about the events in April. I've got your calendar of events. You kind of go down through those for the children, and then we'll get back to Beth here in just a second.
On Tuesdays, we have our teenager time in the afternoon at 3:45, and that's Jason Davis, and he runs the program for the teenagers that consists of movies. They have literacy day and poetry, chess club, and a book club every month. So the teenagers, what's happening with the teenagers is that it's a small group right now, but teenagers are joining up for the teen club after school. They meet after school, come from different schools, so it's a great opportunity for teenagers to have somewhere to go after school. We see teenagers there even doing their homework, just kind of hanging out, doing their homework and stuff like that. So come to the library. On Wednesday at 10 in the morning, we have our story time with Miss Irene. And again, she's a gifted storyteller. She sings songs. She's doing some sign language for the children.
Nice.
And then they always have a craft afterwards. But there's dancing and music, and it's a good time upstairs.
Keeps it fun.
It is, and the parents really enjoy it too. On Thursdays in the morning, we have what is toddle time, and that's generally for the 0 to 3-year-olds. So toddle time is geared for that age group, and again, it's the same thing. There's some sign language, story time, songs, and a craft that's geared for that age. So we just encourage parents, grandparents, caregivers, to come and try it. Bring your children and see if that's something they would enjoy.
I would think for those out there that, again, if you're grandparents or caregiver or parents, whatever, and you've run out of anything to do at home to keep those kids active, great place to go. You can kind of throw it over on them. You got to stay there,
Yeah, you stay there. That's right.
It's a really good opportunity.
Yeah, Irene does a great job. She really draws the children in. She's just so talented, so I just encourage all those parents out there to come try us out. And then on Thursday afternoon at 3:45, now that's the school-age children that are, from like kindergarten on up to about 12 years old, maybe 11-year-old. Well, we're starting a new 8-week program called the Crazy Eights for our after-school program. And it's just a fun time with mathematics. We have props. We have a whole kit for 8 weeks that we're going to set up for the after-school program children to come and join in on the fun. So that's an 8-week program, 3:45 Thursdays.
I got to ask you about that. Actually, Beth and I were talking before you got here. How do you come up with all this stuff? Who creates all this?
Yeah.
You change it up every month, so you really have to be creative. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, creative, but there's also some really good resources through.
I'm sure you do have resources.
Through the American Library Association, have websites, links. We check into other libraries, see what are they doing. Pick up some ideas from other libraries.
Right, and some people, they make their information, public, just helpful, so other people who might be struggling.
There's also workshops,
because you do. You think about it, changing every month.
Right.
Yeah.
And still, as Beth was talking about, you got, sometimes it's not a success and you don't get the groups coming in numbers like you'd like.
Right.
Other times everybody comes in, so got to hit the hot button. It's kind of like marketing at retail.
Sure.
You never know what's going to sell. You just got to try to keep putting interesting things out there, and some of them will do better than others, I'm sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
This April, what's the April teen time thing?
The April teen time is at 3:45.
Okay. So that's the different days. You have movies and so forth even?
We do, and everything should be posted on our website, but also if you stop by the library, we always have our calendar, so parents or a teenager can pick up the calendar so that they can keep track. So tomorrow is Teen Movie Day, and it's Ways to Live Forever. And so there's probably going to be popcorn and some light beverages, for the teenagers. They do like their snacks, so... and then Literacy Day, which will be on the 11th for the teenagers, and then a Poetry Day on the 18th, and then a chess club on the 25th. So things that teenagers like to do.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Beth, help me here.
Well, this coming Thursday, the 6th, refreshments will be at 5 o'clock, and the program starts at 5:30. I just wanted to mention the genealogy department with our genealogist, Tina Farmer. She has invited Jane Wilkerson of the Arkansas History Commission to come in and speak. And what she's going to be talking about is World War I. So 2017, it will be 100 years since the United States entered World War I. Right. And so this is just, kind of like a 100-year anniversary, talking about Arkansas and how, what our part was in World War I, what we did. And Jane Wilkerson is actually from this area, though she no longer lives here, but she is originally from this area. So it should be a really good program.
And genealogy is very popular these days. I hear a lot of people talking about, that people want to see kind of their family history.
Right, they want to know where they came from.
Where they came from and so forth.
And then the 18th of April, we're going to have an essential oils presentation. And it's just one of those ways, a natural way that you can help your body heal itself without having to go and get all of these medications and drugs and things. But there's a different oil for anything you can think of.
That has gotten to be extremely popular. The health food stores and even some of the big box stores are starting to carry full lines of these. And it's really interesting. I pulled up a couple just to see what was going on. But you pull up what each one does, and you'll be amazed sometimes. Well, if you think about it, even the fruits and vegetables we eat. I'm on a kick eating 2 bananas a day. I read about this deal. Bananas are very good with potassium, obviously, and other things. So I got on the 2 banana kick. And I'm doing one in the morning, one in the evening.
Good.
I may be over potassium myself, but the essential oils thing is very popular.
Yes.
And we got about 2 minutes left. Don't want to miss anything.
All right.
Just touch on anything else that you.
Well, we have our Buffalo National River Partner Program as usual the last Tuesday of every month, and this month it's going to be What's in the Water, kind of talking about E. coli and how that can affect us. And then for our adult coloring, which we do once a month, it's April 12th. This month we're going to have, if you come, you can put your name in for a drawing for a prize. So if you like coloring, you should
those
come
are really
out.
good programs. Those BNRP.
Yeah.
I went to the last one you had. It was great.
Yes.
Fantastic speakers.
Yeah, we were actually talking a little right before you came about the Buffalo National River Partners. And of course, they put on a program at the library each month, but all the different things they do for the Buffalo National River, and such a beautiful place that we're right here in our back door. Probably some of us take it for granted sometimes.
Yes.
We don't use it as much as we should, but people come from all over the world to see it.
You're right, yeah.
It's very nice. Ladies,
just one thing. We will be closed April 26th, which is, I believe, the last Wednesday of this month. So we're going to be making some technology changes, and so we want to let everybody know we won't be open.
And you may not be open for a few days afterwards if those changes are too big.
Maybe.
You never know.
Hope not.
Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you
Beth,
so
thanks for
much.
contacting me. And let's just try to get together the first of every month and go over your programs, because it's always a lot of fun. And
Thanks for
you do a lot
having
of great
us.
things down there. 2 very good people. I mean, this is the type of people at the library that they have, the staff there, and they do a great job. Beth Kaffenberger, of course, and Eileen Clark, thank you so much for coming in, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Okay?
All right.
Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We're going to talk with 2 gentlemen about what's going to be taking place at the First United Methodist Church right here in Harrison. It's a big event coming up. Stay with us.
Spring has already started at Sisters Flower and Gift Shop. The ladies at Sisters have created some beautiful spring floral arrangements, and new home accent items are arriving daily. You'll also find a good selection of centerpieces, wall decor, and many other great gift items. Come by and check out their new baby section with gift ideas for both mom and baby. From handcrafted dinnerware, serving pieces, tabletop items, and licensed Razorback products, Sisters has just the right gift item for any occasion. Catch the spring fever at Sisters Flower and Gift Shop. We are so much more than flowers.
Crystal clear mountain streams, river rapids, and rolling hills with endless valleys. The beauty of the Ozarks we often take for granted. At Magnus Toyota, we never underestimate the value of our customers. As a third-generation family-owned business, Magnus Toyota has been operating here in the Ozarks for over 50 years. When we make a new deal, we make a new friend. Stop in and visit us today and see why our customers say we're the best. Magnus Toyota, your hometown Toyota dealer on Highway 65 North in Harrison.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our next two guests in the studio today, both involving the First United Methodist Church here in Harrison, Mike Bishop and Jerry Jackson. Thank you both for coming in today. We appreciate you coming in. Thanks for contacting us on the Connection show. Mike, well, let's start off. Let's just talk a little bit about this event, and then we'll get Jerry involved in some conversation here.
All right. Well, we'll do that. You know, the First United Methodist Church, 2 years ago, we presented the Living Last Supper.
Okay.
And what we do, it's a cast of our local church members and our choir. We come together, and we actually bring to life Da Vinci's Last Supper painting. Now, everybody is familiar with that. Mm-hmm. And we stage it. It opens with a freeze scene there of that we're in the portrait form, and then each of the characters, each of the disciples come alive and talk about their relationship with Jesus. And it's a fabulous production, and it's interspersed with some great musical selections from our choir. And we did this 2 years ago. It was so well received that our pastor David Williams wanted us to do it again, and so we're presenting it again this year on finishing up Holy Week with that.
So this is the second time you've done this so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I noticed it starts at 7 p.m. Both evenings. Roughly how long an event is it?
The presentation itself is about an hour, and then, of course, we invite people to plan to stay afterwards and fellowship with the characters, and also we have snacks and things. It's just a great fellowship time.
How long does it take these characters to get in the mode to do this? I'm sure you have to do a little practicing ahead of time.
We've been working on this a couple months already. We have, and like I said, and the gentlemen that are all involved with it are very dedicated. We, like I said, everybody in the cast comes from within our church congregation, with the exception of our lead character, the gentleman that portrays Jesus in this, is also he's a professional actor. He portrays Jesus at the Great Passion Play. Scott Noss.
I've seen him before.
And so he does a beautiful job for us. We're honored to get him to come in and sit in with us on this.
He is, from pictures you see of Jesus, he's very authentic.
Yes.
He looks the part.
Yes.
How many people, how big a cast? Is this a pretty big casting?
There's a cast. We have Jesus and the 12 disciples. Okay. And then, like I said, and then our choir. Provides the accompaniment all through it. And Don Tolhurst, our choir director, does a beautiful job with the choir. And so it is just... It's really fascinating to hear the individual disciples' stories and how they relate where they're at this point with this last meal with Jesus. And then afterwards, something that we added this year we did not do in past year was that at the end of the production, they actually tell what happened to each one of the disciples after Jesus' resurrection. Wow! And so it's a fascinating program. It's more than obviously it's a Christian story that's very important to us this time of the year. But just in the way of a story to tell and for people to hear it and see it brought to life is fascinating. We just encourage everybody to come spend some time with us.
You know, you bring up a good point there. I would dare say most people have seen a portrait of the Last Supper at some point in their life, probably numerous times. But many times you don't think about the characters in these pictures and how they came about and the role that they played and whatever. So this is a very interesting. Sounds like it would be a very educational thing.
It
for
is.
people.
It's educational. It's inspiring, and it brings together a whole different level of dedication in a person's life, and how they can turn their life to Jesus, and how they can just spend their time following Him and understanding what He came here to do.
Yes. About you're having it in the Life Center. How many can you hold a pretty good group of people in there to watch this? I mean, seating wise,
we can hold several hundred people in there.
Okay.
And at the last presentation that we did for this, we just did it one night, and it was so well received. We decided to do 2 nights this year, and we had people from all over the community. You know, it's one thing we always like to stress: it's not limited just to our church congregation.
Sure.
It's open to the whole community.
Non-denominational. Anybody
Exactly.
can come and whatever their walk in life.
Absolutely.
That's great. And 2 nights, of course, obviously. On Good Friday, kick it off, and then Saturday before Easter. So timing is perfect. Anything else, Mike? Did I miss anything here as far as the event goes? Is that obviously it's free to the public?
Absolutely, it's free, and the only other thing I would like to mention is that, of course, that is, like I said, we're finishing up Holy Week there on Sunday morning, and then we have our sunrise service, and we are doing a community breakfast this year right after that.
Oh.
So again, that's all open and free to the public, and we just enjoy getting a chance to feed everybody, and again come together on that special morning. So the sunrise service is at 7 o'clock, and then the breakfast is immediately following.
After the sunrise service.
Yeah.
Great. Jerry, kick in here.
You happen to have one of the disciples right here.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
That's Philip.
Philip.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about that?
Well, give us a little bit of. We got a little time, so give us a little information.
I knew I'd get a talk.
Did you see how I threw that back on him?
Boy, you did.
I got another idea for you. How about you film it?
Well, we might try to do that.
That'd be a big hit.
Yeah.
Oh, that would now you threw that back to him.
Yeah. Give us a little information about Philip then.
Okay, well, my name is Philip, and Jesus came to me one day while I was working, and He said simply, "Follow me." I spent an entire day with Him, and I was convinced this is truly the promised one. Now, it took me some time to understand, but I finally came to realize that He is really God among us. Several days ago, I watched Him as He fed thousands. They began by 1,000 sitting on the hillside listening to Him teach, men, women, and children. He looked to me and He said, "Where can we buy food to feed them all?" Well, I immediately thought of the physical cost of such a venture, and our treasury did not have such funds. I gave no thought to the discomfort of the people or the possibility of a divine miracle. But Jesus, He took 5 tiny pieces of bread and 2 small fish. He prayed over them. He broke them into pieces, and He fed thousands. And then we picked up 12 basketfuls of leftovers. God among us.
Wow.
Nice.
So,
Well done.
That
well
reminds
done.
me, I was talking to Tom Benton a couple of weeks ago. Tom's another disciple. And he said that when he performed with you guys, it was such a spiritual thing to him. He walked out of there thinking he was that person. And it's really, really moving. So, yeah, I think that's, it just hit me while I was sitting here. Maybe you guys could do that. I know Jim doesn't do that much on Friday or Saturday night. That he could come on up.
He's saying, Jerry, you're talking way too much.
Yeah. But also, I wanted to tell you a few things about the church.
Okay.
We're located at 1100 West Bower. You go to the up to the hospital.
Sure.
You just go to the dead end on Bower, and you'll run right into the Family Life Center. Mm-hmm. We have 2 services. 10:30 is the traditional up in the sanctuary, and our beautiful sanctuary is where everybody wants to have a wedding. And then we have down below, we call it the casual service. Okay. It's more of a contemporary. We have a praise band, and we start at 8:30, and we have donuts and coffee. And you can sit there and have a donut and have coffee while you listen to praise music, and then you get a big piece of David Williams, Pastor David Williams. Mm-hmm. And if people have not heard David Williams speak, it's unbelievable to listen to this guy. I mean, he's I like to think of it as entertaining, but it's way beyond that. It's very touching to listen to him preach a sermon. different. So, something else we've done up there that I'm real proud of, our confirmation class. David's wife, Rebecca, ran this year, and she did something entirely different. We must have had about 10 confirmation kids that went through, and she assigned them to a mentor for about 6 months ago. And that mentor stayed with them and encouraged them and did some things with them and sat with them, prayed with them, various things. So that was really, really a cool thing that she's done. She has done the Sunday school classes she put together. It's just unbelievable. And we just encourage anybody that's looking for a church home. We're the blue signs you see around town, Rethink Church. And that's kind of our thought. Things have changed, and so has church. If you don't want the traditional, you've got the casual service. So,
you know, speaking of the contemporary, we'll call it contemporary service or casual, whatever, most of the people in the viewing audience, perhaps their church has gone that direction, but it shows the changes that are really necessary, if you will, to touch a lot more people. And of course, the younger people. If you can get them in there young, and they enjoy what they're doing, and they appreciate the fact that they're going to church for the right reasons. Then the contemporary service, and I have one at my church. Same way, most of the churches, particularly the bigger churches, have gone to the two services. One that you can come in your blue jeans and have donuts and coffee.
And you're looking at it right here.
Yeah.
I'm at the contemporary service.
Yeah.
He's more traditional.
Yeah. But it makes a big difference for people to have the option, if you will. And of course, First United Methodist, one of the bigger churches in the Harrison area, and been there for a long, long time. I remember him as a kid at the old church when I grew up here. I grew up in Harrison, moved away for many, many years, but came back and you were in the new church. But it's a nice church for anybody out there that would like to go try them out. I'm sure they would like to invite you to come out and sit in with them, and then you pick your church, decide if that's the place to go. Then obviously they'd love to have you all the time. And, this event, I haven't had a chance to go, but maybe I'll get a chance to come up one of the nights. Very interesting. I like the way you spoke that out. It is kind of get you in like you're there type thing, as Jerry mentioned there. So it's very good. And
the way you did that,
I'm sure each one
we
of
felt
you,
it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
It
really does. It has that effect. And when you're sitting there as one of the cast members, and I sit just 2 people down from Jesus, and you're sitting there, I mean, you're caught up in that moment. Tom was absolutely correct, and I think we conveyed that to the audience, and I feel sure that we'll again. And David, our pastor, has done a wonderful job directing this, because he is so passionate about this as well.
Fantastic. Thank you both for coming in. I appreciate it. Jerry, thanks for getting a hold of us.
You're welcome.
And Mike, it's always good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Dennis.
I'm sure this will be another success this year. Don't forget the dates. It will be a wonderful event to go to. You've got Friday the 14th, which is Good Friday, and Saturday the 15th, 7 p.m., both evenings, at the First United Methodist Church in Harrison, to be in their Life Center there. And they've got plenty of seating, and it's free of charge. And it will certainly, I'm sure, have an influence on your life to have people like Mike and those other individuals portraying the Last Supper. Thank you both for coming in. We appreciate it. Thank you both. Amen. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on our Connection Show this week. We hope we brought some information to you, perhaps, that you didn't know about. Join us each Monday as we have organizations and individuals come in to talk about what should be important to you as we connect with the community. See you next time.